Hey guys, there's going to be a bit of an audio issue in this episode. Sorry about that. My mic came unattached, and yeah, it took me a second to figure that one out. So sorry about that, but I really hope you enjoy this week's episode. Hey guys, welcome to That Florida Feeling. How are y'all this week? Hope everybody's doing good. Thank you to everybody who interacted on the Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, TikTok pages. You guys are awesome. I cannot thank you enough for helping make this podcast successful. Also, huge shout out to all the podcast on Twitter. It's really super fun interacting with you guys. It's really cool to kind of create your own community or be part of communities so that you can get ideas, you can get support and interaction. So just thank you. And of course, thank you to everyone who participated in the poll questions on Wednesday. Apparently, all of us like road trips. I'm glad to hear that. And again, it really I'm like you guys. It depends on where I'm going. Sometimes I really love to just jump in the car and drive to a new place. But then again, sometimes I just want to fly and get there and start exploring right away. So I'm kind of with you guys. It's a little bit of both. I hope you guys enjoyed last week's episode. Today, I want to introduce you to one of my favorite places in Florida. And I know I say that a lot, but this is really one of my favorite towns in South Florida. And it's just a town I've absolutely fallen in love with. Can't afford to live there yet. It's more of a retirement community. But 55 is coming up eventually, so goals. But that town is Naples. I absolutely love Naples in South Florida, and it is still recovering from Hurricane Ian. And I wanted to show a little bit of love today. Naples is in Collier County, laces out, sorry, had to say it, and it is the principal city of the Naples-Marco Island area. Naples is absolutely beautiful, that unfortunately bore part of the brunt of Hurricane Ian. It is really well known for its retirement communities. Of course, Naples is a $1 million area, so there's a ton of beautiful homes all up and down the beachfront. Golf courses, white sandy beaches, amazing restaurants. Of course, Naples has self-titled itself the golf capital of the world, and if you've ever been there, you drive around and all you see is golf courses, and it really does make sense because it has the second most holes per capita out of all the communities, and the most holes of any city in Florida. So it truly is kind of a golfing, it's the golfing capital of Florida. And, self-proclaimed to the world. Cool, own it. Now, Naples area is actually full of a lot of old history. The area has been inhabited since the Calusa tribe called those lands home. And they kind of settled from the Charlotte Harbor to Cape Sable, which is basically at the very bottom of the state in the Everglades. And of course, they used the area. They had agriculture, fishing. They had a really great tribal culture going. It's really cool if you learn about the Calusa. I will do an episode on them eventually. But they really did inhabit this area, and they really did flourish in it. Of course, the first European explorer to visit the area was Ponce de Leon. We've talked about him a lot. And he visited the Calusa tribe, and they were not friendly. I cannot say I blame them, especially probably from the fact that having dealt with the Spanish before Ponce de Leon, possibly, and then after Ponce de Leon, the contact between the Spanish and the Calusa, from just those first encounters, created a 200-year conflict era between them. Like, they did not get along. They did not want them in their area. And they were right. Now, of course, the city of Naples itself was founded much later. It was actually founded in 1886 by a former Confederate general from Kentucky, U.S. Senator named John Stuart Williams. He had a partner, a Louisville businessman, Walter N. Halderman. Now, Halderman was actually the publisher of the Louisville Courier-Journal. And the journal would run stories about the area's mild climate, abundant fishing, beautiful wildlife, beautiful palm trees, beautiful beaches, and it actually likened the area to the sunny Italian peninsula all the way through from the 1870s to the 1880s, and that was really, they wanted to draw people to this attention. They were going to create this wonderful new area and, create this city that everybody wanted to come to in South Florida. And so, basically, by doing this comparison to the Italian peninsula, the name Naples caught on, and promoters began to describe the bay as surpassing the bay in Naples, Italy. And Naples is a really beautiful place, especially the waterfront area, so I see why they would have said that. So, once they started promoting it, Naples started to grow. It grew a lot, and by 1888, the town had about 80 residents. The first hotel opened a year later in 1889, And as people started to come to the area, it continued to grow. The area grew once Collier County was actually officially established in 1923, and it was the extension of the Seaboard Airline Railroad in 1927 and the Tamiami Trail that linked Naples and Miami in 1928. They caused this area to see an absolutely massive explosion of people and tourists. And of course, the area did stall during the Great Depression and World War II, but it survived. And it actually survived because of a small airfield that had been built by the Army, which is now, today, the Naples Municipal Airport. Still in existence, still working. So that's kind of cool that they were saved due to this airfield. Now, of course, Naples officially became a city in 1949, a long time after it was kind of established. And with the expansion of new projects in the city, it really did help it grow. The first beach in Naples was actually constructed by the Wyatt family. The Wyatt family also helped create the canals and channels throughout the city. Channels added much south of the city, and they were named alphabetically for local water birds, the first being an anahinga. Side note, I really dislike anahingas. Sorry, there's a whole backstory behind that I'll tell you all one day, but for now, just know that I do not like anahingas. Now, of course, these channels also created coves, and the areas were created by bulldozing of the mangrove swamps, which, side note, they have discovered that the mangroves are the reason that, some of the parts of Florida don't get as much hurricane damage because the mangroves kind of act as a natural barrier. So that sucks. By the way, if you guys hear my cat, I'm sorry. He is super talkative and apparently really likes Naples and just wants to say something. South Naples is known for its channels, canals, and waterfront homes that only add to this charm of the town and give homeowners actually direct access into the Gulf of Mexico. So these channels and coves were really actually a great access to help promote people to even want to move here and have waterfront property. Now, the city largely depends on tourism, real estate, and some agriculture to keep the city alive and growing. The city is close to the Everglades, just made up a new name for it, the Everglades and the 10,000 Islands. So it's actually popular for not just tourism, but ecotourism. The area is absolutely full of parks, beaches, and other fun things to do, such as Tin City, the Naples Zoo, Fifth Avenue for all of its shops, amazing restaurants, plenty of wildlife for boating tours in and out of the city. So Naples really has something for everyone. Now, of course, the area is also home to several land reserves, such as the Corkscrew Swamp Sanctuary, the Everglades National Park, Big Cypress National Preserve, Florida Panther National Wildlife Reserve, 10,000 Islands National Wildlife Reserve, and the Picayune Strand State Forest. Plenty to do, especially outside. The Corkscrew Swamp is an amazing place with over 11,000 acres of wildlife and landscapes of South Florida, but it also has a really cool 2.5 mile long boardwalk that winds through the sanctuary. Definitely recommend checking that one out. Just take a day walk, go in the morning before it gets super hot. You'll see a lot of the wildlife. It's beautiful to walk through there. Sorry, guys. Allergies. Now, one of my favorite things to do in Naples is actually the Naples Zoo. And the Naples Zoo is kind of cool because not only is it a zoo, but it's also a historical botanical garden. It sits on 43 acres. And the garden itself was actually started in 1919 by Dr. Henry, I'm going to say this wrong, Nehirling, possibly, who was a botanist and an ornithologist. The area was left to wither after Nehrling's death, but was revived in the 1950s by Julius Fleischmann, who added new plantings, created lakes, made pathways, and even introduced parrots and waterfowl to the area. He saw the potential behind this, and he wanted to, let it flourish, work on it. He thought it was great. And he opened it, actually, as the Caribbean Gardens in 1954. Now, the zoo was eventually taken over by Lawrence and Nancy Jane Tetziff, or Jungle Larry and Safari Jane. Now, they had visited the gardens while looking for a house, because they were actually looking for somewhere to house their collection of rare animals during the winter. I'm sorry about my cat, guys. He has a lot to say right now. So they were contacted after Fleischmann's death. They had kind of actually asked to buy the land before he died, but he said no. And then after Fleischmann's death, they were contacted and they bought it. And the zoo actually opened on September 1st, 1969. The zoo opened and officially became accredited many years later in 2001 after much improvements and expansions to both the zoo and the garden area. Now, the zoo itself is set up as one major loop with different exhibits around the 1 mile long loop that goes through botanical gardens as well. It is absolutely beautiful. I love walking through this zoo. You can see the old gardens, you can see the animals. You can see that they take care of things. I'm sorry, guys. My cat is having a monumental meltdown. I'm so sorry. Um, but they have some interesting exhibits such as Alligator Bay, South American exhibits, African antelopes, clouded leopards, tiger forests, panther exhibits, and a backyard habitat to name a few. The backyard habitat is cool because you can actually feed the fish. My favorite though is Lake Victoria. And Lake Victoria exhibit is made up of several islands that are home to the primates. You actually view the island by taking the primate expedition cruise that is about 20 minutes through the lake. You can actually get an up close view of the islands where most of the primates are endangered species. It's really cool. We did the cruise. It was amazing. They were really knowledgeable. They showed us all the islands and told us everything about it. The zookeepers and staff were very knowledgeable, and it's kind of just a cool, fun, extra thing that the zoo offers for you to be able to do. The zoo is a fun place to walk around and see all the exhibits, take in the gardens, or visit the Safari Canyon Open Air Theater. You can also do Meet the Keepers to learn about different animals in the zoo's care. The zoo is open from 9 to 4:30. You can buy tickets online, kind of like everywhere else. Naples is very hot in the summer, so we went right when they opened in July, and it wasn't too bad. They also have some covered parking. Tin City. Tin City is a group of more than 40 shops that are on the waterfront. You can wander through these shops and find anything and everything. The actual fun part about Tin City is that it has a really cool history. It was originally a clam shelling and oyster plant in the 1920s. Tin City itself retains the rustic look with its boardwalks, tin roofs, and restaurants that overlook Naples Bay where you can actually see the working docks. I love walking around Tin City and looking at the shops. There's a little winery. You can eat at the restaurants. They have some amazing happy hours. We got some really good margaritas there. Um, it's really just a fun little place to kind of go, especially if it's a hot day or if it's raining. You definitely want to check out Tin City. Tin City is also home to some really great boat tours that actually leave it right there out of the bay. Pure Florida is one of the companies that has awesome boat tours and fishing charters. I also recommend the Naples Princess as a sightseeing cruise on a luxury yacht. It is amazing. They do sunset tours and bay tours, and it's just something kind of cool to do, especially on vacation. Again, the restaurants in Tin City are amazing. Great seafood, fun happy hour specials. Never had anything bad there, so you will not be disappointed. Unfortunately, Tin City was slightly damaged due back in Irma, and it took them a little bit to recover. And again, now they've had it from Ian. So if you do go visit Tin City, I'm sure that the people who are still open there would really appreciate it. Definitely want to support them. So it's a cool place to go and check out. Now, the downtown area is another fun place at Naples because it's full of shops, restaurants, and amazing sights. The streets are laid out in a grid, so everything is actually really easily accessible. Parking's never too far away. Tommy Bahama is a really cool place for food and live music. It's right on the street. The Old Naples Pub is another fun place to visit. Have a beer and listen to music. It is smaller, it is louder, but it is a lot of fun. They do not serve hard liquor, found that out. But it was still a fun place to go and hear local music. Great, fun place. My favorite place in downtown Naples, though, is Badass Coffee. I love Badass Coffee. If you've never heard of one, find one, try it immediately. I love it. They have amazing coffee drinks. They're so nice. I go there numerous times when I'm downtown. I even buy bags of coffee to take back with me. I highly recommend that place. I know that they were damaged during Hurricane Ian. They are back open. But, again, a lot of those places had flood damage from the storm. So definitely go and support them if you're downtown. Great place. A lot of great places in the downtown, like I said, did suffer from that. Most have bounced back. It's definitely worth visiting, going, checking out. You'll find hole in the walls. There is an amazing Thai sushi place. I love it. Every time we go, we have to go there. I recommend it wholeheartedly. Again, Badass Coffee's another good one. There's some cute little restaurants and shops. There's the Naples, Naples Soap. It was really cool. Just kind of peek into the little things. There's lots of art galleries. There's lots of... You can actually find anything and everything in downtown Naples. And, of course, they do have more of the high-end shops as well. But definitely worth at least walking the block. Naples also has an amazing pier. The pier is perfect to see the sunset and watch the waves on the beach. People go to fish there. And it's free to the public. I want everyone to visit the pier once it's reopened. The pier sustained massive damage from Hurricane Ian. Unfortunately, you still can go to where the pier is. You obviously just can't walk out on it, as it's not really there. But I recommend going to the beaches. Definitely go. Definitely hang out. Go to see the sunsets. There's some amazing hidden beaches in the area. Drive down to Marco Island. Explore the island. You can find some amazing shells down in South Florida. The weather seems to always be perfect. There's always that 3 o'clock rainy sunshine that's happening. Yes, I said rainy sunshine because that's literally what happens. But the beaches are always clean. I've never been disappointed. I think Naples is one of those beautiful cities that has something for everyone that's definitely worth at least a weekend getaway. Now, it has been through a lot in the past few years. Of course, they got an almost direct hit from Irma and the brunt of Ian. They are open for tourists. Places are rebuilding. Beaches are repairing. The ocean is also repairing itself. And so the whole city is really healing from the storm. They're still cleaning up, so some things are open, some things are not. So definitely check out where you're going before you go. Naples is a fun place to visit for scenery, wildlife. Take a day trip into the Everglades. Go down 75 through Alligator Alley to Ochipee. See one of the smallest post offices in Florida. Maybe go look for the swamp ape. You never know what you might find. Check out Marco Island. Walk some of the preserves. Sit on the beach and enjoy the waves. Maybe even run into Florida Man. Naples doesn't escape Florida Man no matter how rich it is. And today's Florida Man was a man drunkenly claiming to be Mick Jagger as he wandered through the downtown area. Thankfully, people obviously realized he was not Mick Jagger, but just a really drunk guy who wanted to start a fight. So, go Florida Man. Although, today you get a second Florida Man. Did y'all hear about the Florida Man in Miami who tried to rob a Publix with a stapler? I really wish I had the confidence of Florida Man. I do. I don't even know what to say to that. Like, A for effort. I don't even know. He was arrested for attempting to rob a place with what was perceived to be a weapon. Which, fun fact, he was actually out on not probation, bond or something. Yeah, bail. He was out on bail because he was charged with another crime like 4 months earlier. So, have the confidence of Florida Man this week and just do you. Thank you guys for exploring Naples with me today. I hope you found a new place to visit or revisit, some new fun places to try out. Don't forget to go to Badass Coffee when you go to Naples. You will not be disappointed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow, or whatever you do just to not miss out on an episode. I really appreciate you guys. I thank everybody for reviewing. It really does help get more people to see the podcast on their app. If you have a second, I really would appreciate an Apple review, just to kind of further that podcast on that platform as well. Thank you guys for continuing to support the podcast. Don't forget to check out the polls questions of the week on Wednesdays. Again, sharing your memes on Facebook. I love it. I absolutely love it. If you have a topic you want to share, just message me. Thank you guys again. I hope you all have a great week. I think you should stay hydrated. Everybody should stay hydrated. Be nice to one another, guys. There's plenty of assholes out in the world. Don't be that one. And as always, that's your daily dose of sunshine.